I got these talk buttons for my rabbit, and I put them down last night, and she was kind of curious. She started walking around them, and I got twigs that I cut for her to gnaw on, and I just got them laying on the floor, and they was by the buttons, and the first button she hit, whether she meant to, I'm sure the way animals do stuff, they do it without realizing, making you realize that they're actually doing it on purpose. So there might be an accident, but they might be doing it on purpose to make it look like an accident. Like she hit the button almost first thing she did was hit twigs. Now I got a 6 pads, and 4 of them are together, and then I got 2 separate. And one I got in by her food, and some plants that I grow for, or some grass that I grow for. Another one I got in an area that's just she basically goes to and runs around. And so I got a chase button, a chase me button, a single chase me button on the one where she runs around. And because sometimes she'll get feisty and want me to chase her. And then I got the 4 pad, or the food, or around what I got around the food. I had a food button, but then last night she hit I was kind of letting her tell me when to water plants, because she'd hop on them in a certain way, and meaning that they kind of needed water. And so I put down I made a water plants button, and she hit that twice last night, because it's usually on the weekend when I water them. They're in I don't know what they call them. They're in trays or something like that. But I got the grass, and then I got below it, I got a water catch so that the roots grow through these trays, because I got holes in the trays. They're like a mesh tray, and then it goes down, and there's something that holds water. And so I put it's usually on the weekend, but she hit it twice last night. Now I did put it kind of in the way, and she hit it twice last night. And it's usually when I water my plants is on the weekend, or the grass is on the weekend. And I got some rosemary in here I grow, or put outside in the summer, and I got a ginger, but it usually dries up. But I water it all just to keep it moist, like once a week. And so she hit the water plants button twice last night. And I said, okay, I'm gonna give that to you and say that you know what you're doing. Although I did put it in the way, and I moved it out after she hit it twice. I thought, well, see if she's actually hitting the button, or if she is just running over it. So I watered the plants last night, and this morning I was cleaning my bathroom, and I hear water plants. And now I'd moved it out of the way, and I thought, well, maybe she doesn't, because I hadn't fed her yet, and I just got done feeding her. But usually I got one plant in here that I water every morning before I feed her. I come in here, it's an orchid. I had 3 orchids, 2 of them died because I set them in water too long, and I thought they'd come out of it, but they didn't. But I got one that's barely hanging on. I don't know how. It's just like barely. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway. So I water it every morning. I water it right before I start feeding her. So I was in the bathroom cleaning this morning, hadn't fed her, and I hear water plants. Now I'd moved it out of the way, significantly out of the way, out of her path. And so she hit that button on purpose. I thought, well, maybe she was hunting for the food button. So I went in and hit the food button, and thought, then I immediately went over, and I watered the plant. I thought, well, I wonder if she's thinking that after I water plants, I feed her automatically. I thought, so okay, so she's jumping ahead. She's doing subject matter ahead of what. Now you think, well, animals don't do that. Animals, well, okay. Uh, if you've ever been bit or anything by an animal, because uh, whether you're playing and you can see how fast they can react, like in midair. If you ever see dogs attack and they attack and not a whole lot of humans can change. You know, if they're punching, they can't. Not a whole lot of people, unless they're a really trained fighter, can change their punch in midair. I mean, if you're moving, they change the trajectory of the punch. I mean, people miss all the time in professional fighting and stuff, and you don't ever see them change. Now, an animal like a predator, they can do that in midair. Now they do miss, but the animals that they're chasing are a jump ahead also in what they're doing. Unlike humans, they're just basically directory programmed. They don't. There's not a whole. I don't know if there's any of them that can change midair. You know, like or mid punch, like like animals can. Now they can do it to humans, but they can't do it to a predator who is actually changing quicker than a human. I mean, you know, you can't keep up with bugs. You can't keep up with it. You know, you don't know which way they're going. You know when they're moving as a herd, but even then, there's some of them that jiggle around. So I watered my plant, and I thought, you know what? She doesn't need a food button. I mean, that's my job. That's my responsibility to feed her, and that'd be like going backwards in what we're already doing. So I took the food button away because that's my responsibility to feed her. And I thought, I'm not going to have her. I'm just going to have her. I'm going to keep like the twigs and the chase me because those are choice buttons. But the responsibility buttons, I'm taking those out and I'm going to turn them into something else, something that that would be her choice to have me do. So I was thinking, well, maybe I need to get some more buttons if she's going to do this. But I thought, you know, this is stupid. Why would I go get rid of my responsibility and wait for her to hit? That's stupid for me to do that. And I always have plenty of food for her, so it's kind of stupid to have a food button. So she hit the water plants button twice this morning. I thought, yeah, the plants don't need water. I just watered them last night. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to check them anyway. Maybe, you know. And I looked under there, and there's no standing water in the roots section, but there was a place where she sits all the time was kind of dry. So I checked how much water was in there, and there it was. I put some more water in there, and so maybe I didn't have enough water in there, and she knew that, and that's one of her responsibilities is for her to tell me when to water them plants. So she did that, and I thought, well, that's just she just accidentally, but I think she's doing it on purpose. That, and I water the plant before I feed her, so that might be one of two decisions that she made. That if I tell him to water the plant, then he'll automatically feed me, or she told me to water the plants. But I'm thinking she told me to water plants because she was checking on them when I was watering them. So I'm thinking she's a step ahead, being she's a herbivore, and herbivores are a step ahead, and they have to be because so maybe humans are stupid, you know, if they have to be told the responsibility. And I'm just going to have these as choice buttons instead of responsibility buttons. Her responsibility, I'll have her what she chooses to tell me. I got to figure out. I think maybe I got a lot of buttons that I'm going to have to figure out what kind of choices she wants to do. So that's where I'm at with these buttons.